Ooh, getting more difficult. What are the x-intercepts of the graph of the quadratic function? F of x equals 5x squared plus 4x minus 1. What the heck are x-intercepts again? Oh, yeah, these guys on the left and right x-axis, right? Okay, I'm just going to graph this guy, right? 5x squared plus 4x minus 1. Okay, just going to edit this guy. 5x squared plus 4x minus 1. Ask me for what again? The x-intercepts, as in these two guys. So let me see. I see this guy right here, and I see this guy right here. -1. And what's another way to say 0.2? Because we have fractions here, right? Well, there's one number here that's equal to 0.2. Need you guys to find it. Then we went to 40 on page 6. So just a few more to go, guys. All right. Graph the function g is shown below. Based on the graph, which two values of x is a 0 of g located? Now, what's a 0? Same thing, x-intercept 0 root. It's just the x-intercept, guys, just the point that crosses the x-axis. That's all we're looking for. We're hammering this point home. So, oh, but it's a tricky one. Between which two values of x is a 0 of g located? All right. So, well, I see this guy is between -1 and -2, right? I can see that. This guy's between 4 and 5. Do we see that? I see 1 and 2, nothing there. -9, -8, I don't even see that. -7, I don't see that either. 4 and 5, well, wait, 4, it's between 4 and 5. That could be it. Table of values for a quadratic function g is shown below. Again, if this is a solution to g equals 0, what is the other solution? Again, one being a solution to g of x has nothing to do with the other solution, right? Just look for a 0 in the sorry, not the y column, but the g of x column, right? Which is the same thing as the y column, right? 0, and what's the corresponding x number? That's your solution. Ooh. This one might be the hardest one. Which statement about the quadratic functions below is false? Okay, the graphs of two of these functions have a minimum point. Well, is that true? Because remember, we have a guide for this in our notes, right? If the graph curves up, you will have a minimum. If the graph curves down, you will have a maximum. But even more so than that, I want to give you guys a little, reminder. So the graph will curve up when you have a positive x squared. If you have a negative x squared, the graph's going to curve down. See? I'm just going to make that abundantly clear. -1. See, this is my top guy right here. This is my bottom guy. See? Negative x curves down, positive x curves up, right? It's asking us have a minimum point. So you only have a minimum point if you curve up, right? And I see that two of these guys have negative signs on the x, right? Attached to the x, right? -3/4 x squared minus 2x squared, right? So you can only have a minimum point if your graph is positive. Therefore, only one of these functions has a minimum point, 1/4 x squared, right? -2x squared minus 5. These are going to curve the other way, right? But, don't take my word for it. Let's just check, right? Let's see. -3 over 3 divided by 4 x squared plus 6. Not that the 6 really matters, but I mean, yeah, curves down. See? -2x squared minus 5. Minus 5. That one curves down too, right? By process of elimination, this guy's going to curve up, right? It's positive. but it says two of these functions have a minimum point. Therefore, two of these functions need to be positive on the x. And we only have positive 1/4 x squared. I got two negatives up top, right? So only one of these functions has a minimum point. So I think it could be A. Definitely don't have the same axis of symmetry. Well, actually, no, they do. They do have the same axis, see? Because it would go down, right? Do not cross the x-axis. And I think that's true as well. Let's check 1/4 x squared plus 1. Now, you might think the other one will, right? But it won't. Look. See, this guy never crosses. This guy never crosses, right? So that's actually true. Have different y-intercepts? Well, they do have different y-intercepts, right? So that's true. That's true. That's true. That one's not, right? Because a minimum point requires a positive right here, right? There can be no negatives, right? When you balance everything out attached to the x, right? So it's got to be A. Okay. Which graph can be obtained by translating the graph 0.33 x squared plus 2 down 7 units? So let's just graph 0.33 x squared plus 2, right? Plus 2. Okay. So if I translated it down 7 units, let's see, I'm at 2 right now, right? So 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, right? What's 2 minus 7, right? 2 minus 7 is 5, or it's going to go to -5, right? So which one of these graphs goes to -5? Not this one, not this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think it's that one, right? And then we got 40. Last problem, guys. Which statement about the quadratic equation below is true? So -4.5 x squared. That's important, I think. Probably the negative. Plus 72 equals 0. Well, right off the bat, I just want to graph it because I don't want them trying to confuse me with all this stuff, all this information. I don't even know what I'm looking at, right? -4.5 x squared plus 72. Okay, x equals 4 as its only solution? Well, wrong, right? Because solutions are x-intercepts, right? And I see 2 solutions already, so it's not F. Equation has no real solutions? Not true. I see 2 right there. Infinite number of solutions? No, I don't think so, because I see this guy going down. It's not going to touch it again, right? +4, -4? Let's see. I see a -4. I see a +4, so I think that's probably my answer. All right, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful. I'll be uploading it probably before week 2 ends. Thanks, guys.